lead of the track. Sodor Day was coming to the island of Sodor. Thomas and James were very excited. There would be picnics all over the island. A magnificent brass band, and the biggest carnival Sodor had ever seen. All the engines were busy. And everyone was excited. Sodor Day was the island's grandest celebration. Thomas and James were racing to the wharf. Whoever arrived first would be given a special.
I'm gonna win!
No, I will!
And on they raced, faster than the wind, and more daring than darting arrows. Thomas and James steamed into the wharf. First, James in front. Then, Thomas took the lead. The wharf was buzzing. Barges chugged, cranes swung, and freight cars rattled and rolled. Thomas and James raced by. The little narrow-gauge engines whistled and whished in surprise at the speed and the steam of the big engines. The narrow-gauge controller was waiting. Thomas whooshed around the corner, puffing and huffing, just in front of James.
I won! I won! Hooray! Bad luck, James.
James's cheeks were as red as his paintwork.
Well, I'll win on my way back to Tidmouth.
Well done, both of you. Now then, James, you are to unload barges here at the wharf.
James smiled. He liked that job. Now he didn't mind losing the race.
And the special goes to the winner, Thomas.
Thomas was excited.
You are to work with Duncan. You will bring lumber from the hills down to the wharf. It's a very important job.
Thomas wished a whiff of steam. He was disappointed. He wanted to work at the wharf. And Duncan was tricky. He liked to tease the big engines, especially Thomas.
Duncan, please look after Thomas.
Mr. Percival says that because you mainline engines don't know the tracks in the hills.
Yes, we do. The thin controller wants me to work with you because you little engines can only carry small loads.
Duncan was cross, but before he could say anything, the three engines heard a whoosh and a wheesh and a clackety-clack as a streak of silver rolled by on the track.
Fizzling fireboxes.
Burst me buffers!
Flatten my funnel! What was that?
All over Sodor, other engines were buffeted and blasted on their tracks. Watch my paintwork.
Bubbling boilers!
Bust my buffers.
Rambling cracks. Who was that?
Gosh!
Slow down, Speedy.
Rail Raider!
Later, the standard and narrow gauge engines were at Crovan's Gate.
He was big.
He was silver.
He was very, very fast. That must mean it's... Spencer!
Hello, Sodor. What do you know? I'm here for the summer.
Why?
I have a very important job to do. The Duke and Duchess of Boxford are having a new summer house built. It has to be finished in time for the Duke and Duchess's holiday. I'm very busy. No time to chat.
And Spencer steamed smoothly away.
Cinders and ashes. Having Speedy Spencer on Sodor for one day is bad.
But for the whole summer.
Is terrible.
That afternoon, Thomas and Percy were huffing and puffing up Gordon's Hill. Then, They heard Spencer whooshing and wheeshing behind them.
A little more puff and you might make it to the top by tea time.
Bossy boiler!
Next, Spencer caught Ford.
Out of my way, slowpoke. The indignity.
Toby was huffing slowly to a junction. Spencer steamed alongside, hooting and tooting.
It looks like you're too old now to be really useful, Toby.
Hey, you made me miss my green light.
Edward and Emily were chuffing cheerfully along Spencer's slope.
Dear, oh dear, it takes 2 old engines to pull 1 freight car, does it? I'm pulling 5.
And Spencer found Emily was so cross, she could hardly puff at all. That night, the engines could only talk about Spencer.
He told me I was too old.
He's taken over my express line. He'll never have a shiny coat like mine.
He'll never have manners.
Spencer's scary.
The next day, Thomas was waiting for Duncan. Duncan puffed in.
Is that all the lumber you can pull? James is waiting for me at the wharf. I can't wait for you all day.
That made Duncan cross. Just then, Spencer arrived. He was being coupled up to 20 flatbeds of building materials.
Dear, oh dear, Thomas. It's just as well the Duke and Duchess don't have a tiny toy tank engine like you. The summer house would never be finished.
What do you mean?
I mean, Thomas, you just can't pull heavy loads.
Thomas was upset, and so were the other engines. This time, Spencer had gone too far.
Yes, I can. I can pull just as heavy loads as you.
Easy cannon. Heavier. Thomas is not a toy.
He's a really useful engine.
And he's very strong. The narrow gauge engines didn't scare Spencer. An idea had flown into his funnel.
Very well, Thomas. Meet me tomorrow at dawn.
At the war.
We will have a contest of strength. We will each pull a heavy load and we'll see who can pull it for longer. And for further.
Spencer slid slowly out of the yards. Suddenly, Thomas felt very worried.
Bust my buffers. I can't do this. Spencer will win a contest of strength.
The other engines saw that their friend was worried.
You're the #1 engine on Sodor, and you'll show Spencer that Sodor engines are more special than he is. I know that because you're my best friend.
Thomas looked at his best friend, Percy. Percy believed in him.
I will meet Spencer at dawn, and I will win.
Thomas pumped his pistons. His trucks were now piled with logs and he was ready to leave. Then Duncan had a cheeky idea. I can show you a shortcut to beat Spencer, but you'll have to go over a big hill. It's very steep. Thomas wasn't sure. You big engines aren't scared of steep hills, are you?
No, we're not! I like steep hills! Please, show me the way to the old branch line.
So, the 2 engines steamed off. Thomas and Duncan chuffed up to the junction. Take this old track to the hills. It's downhill from the other side, straight to the main line.
Thank you, Duncan.
And he puffed off. But Duncan didn't know the high hills weren't safe. They hadn't been used for a very long time. Early the next morning, in the cold light of dawn, Thomas and his friends waited for Spencer. they could see a streak of silver engine puffing towards them. A Spencer! Thomas felt worried.
I can't do this, Percy.
Yes, you can, Thomas. You always say little engines can do big things, so you can do this.
The tracks were cleared for Spencer and Thomas, and both engines were coupled up to their heavy loads.
Thomas, you don't have to do this. You're not strong enough to pull 7 heavy flatbeds.
I have to at least give it a try, Edward. We don't know what will happen, but I'll have to try this anyhow.
I was afraid you'd say that. If you insist, this is ridiculous and unsafe. I'll have no part in this.
Rhaenyra's puffed forward.
You will each take different tracks round the island. You may only stop for coal and water.
Then Rhaenyra whistled long and hard. The contest had begun.
I can do it. I'll puff for longer. I'll show Spencer I really am stronger.
I'll show Thomas who's strong and who's weak. He'll puff home with a squeak and a creak.
The other engines watched and worried. Then they blew their whistles long and strong. Thomas and Spencer puffed round the island. They clickety-clacked along the tracks. They whooshed through woods and they huffed up hills. Spencer steamed and smiled. He raced and he roared. Thomas puffed and puffed. He heaved and he hauled.
Silly little engine. When will he learn?
Little engines can do big things, and I want to win.
Soon Thomas was huffing up the steep hill. He was puffing and panting, and his axles ached. At last, he reached the top.
Hooray! I did it!
Then there was trouble. There was a clang and a prang. Thomas gasped.
Cinders and ashes! I've broken my brakes!
Thomas's wheels started to whir and to wobble. He flew faster and faster down the hill.
Oh no! Oh, help!
Thomas raced down one hill and rattled up the next.
Help! I can't stop!
Thomas's heavy trucks pushed him on and on through a junction where Spencer was waiting.
Blistering boilers!
And into some potato trucks. Potato bounced everywhere, but Thomas sped on into a flatbed of jam barrels. Sticky jam flew in the air and landed all over Thomas. But still, he went on and found himself rolling along an old rickety branch line. Could see a thick wall of bushes.
Benders and funnels, how can I stop?
With a scrunch and a crunch, Thomas crashed into the bushes and came to a stop.
Rain, firebox, that was scary.
Thomas looked around. After the racing and rattling, it was very quiet.
Spencer will be back at the shunting yards now. He'll be puffing with pride because he won the contest. And my best friend Percy will be wondering where I am. I don't know where I am.
Everything was very quiet. Thomas didn't know what to do. Then he heard a voice.
Hello?
Thomas looked around. There was no one there. He waited, hardly daring to puff.
Hello?
Thomas looked around again. He couldn't see anyone.
The voice seems to be coming from the bushes.
Very slowly, Thomas chuffed forward into the bushes. The branches crackled and crunched. Then Thomas gasped. He had arrived at a hidden town. It was overgrown, rusty, and very old.
Bubbling boilers! There are so many buildings and a station covered in ivy. What a funny place to have a town.
Thomas was very excited.
I wonder what else I'll find.
Thomas chuffed to a halt.
Fizzling fireboxes!
There, standing right in front of him, was a very old engine. It was broken and rusty. Thomas felt scared. He didn't dare speak. Then the old engine smiled at him. It was a little frightened smile, but it made the old engine look kind and gentle, and it made Thomas feel less scared.
Hello. Too bad your brakes failed. Doesn't that always happen when you're on a hill?
Hello, my name is Thomas.
Ah, my name is Hiro.
Why are you here? Where have you been?
That's a very long story. Do you like stories, Thomas?
Yes, the little engines in the hills tell me stories all the time.
Then, I hope you will like mine. I came here a long time ago from another island. I was one of the first steam engines to arrive on Sodor.
Where is your island?
My island is a long way away. There are mountains and snow and sea. There are lots of railways. I was the strongest engine at home. I was called Master of the Railway.
How did you get to Sodor?
I came in a very big ship. The journey lasted many days and we sailed many seas. When I arrived at the docks, it didn't look at all like home.
What was Sodor like then?
It was very quiet. I was the only engine on Sodor. They called me Master of the Railway here too. I was very happy.
What happened?
I started to break down. The mechanics didn't have parts for me. So I was put in a siding. I had to wait for parts for my island. I waited and waited. And now I'm sure the parts will never come.
Do you miss your home?
Yes, I do. I miss being Master of the Railway.
Thomas looked at his sad new friend. He felt sorry for Hiro.
I know. I'll go and get Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt runs our railway now. He will know how to help you.
No, please don't do that. You must not tell Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas was surprised.
Why?
I'm an old engine that cannot be repaired. I know what happens to old engines that cannot be really useful. They are scrapped and sent to the smelter's yard.
That's not fair. That's not right. That can't happen to you.
But Thomas could see that his new friend, who was once master of the railway, was now old, alone and scared. So Thomas made a decision.
I will look after you, Hiro. I won't tell Sir Topham Hatt until you are fixed. You are safe with me. I'm sure I can find the parts to fix you. I promise I will make you a really useful engine once more. I will make you master of the railway again.
Hiro smiled the biggest smile he had smiled in a long time.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for looking after me.
So Thomas shunted Hiro onto an old siding surrounded by bushes. Then he set off.
I must tell everyone about this town.
Thomas bumped and bashed his way along the old track. He had to spread the news. He whistled as hard as he could.
Someone must hear me.
So, he whistled again. Suddenly, a horn hooted.
That's Madge!
Madge was surprised to see Thomas.
Madge! I've discovered an old town. It is hidden in the forest.
Fenders and flatbeds. Everyone must know about this.
Madge found Mighty Mac at a crossing.
Thomas has discovered a hidden town. Tell everyone.
Mighty Mac told Sir Handel, who told Skarloey, who told Rheneas, who told the narrow gauge controller, who told Harold, who immediately flew off to find Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt had been having tea when Harold arrived.
Thomas has discovered a hidden town.
Take me to Thomas at once!
Soon, Harold and Sir Topham Hatt arrived at the hidden town.
Here it is, sir.
Thomas, you have made a wonderful discovery. This is the town of Great Waterton.
Thomas gasped. He and the other engines had heard stories about Great Waterton.
When steam engines first came to Sodor, this was the main town. It was called Great Waterton because the waterworks here provided water for everyone.
Why does no one live here now?
The springs ran dry, and all the people left to live in new towns. The maps were lost, and everyone thought the town of Great Waterton was lost forever.
But now it is found!
Thanks to you, Thomas, I will telephone the mayor straight away, and I am very proud of you.
Thomas felt really important.
Thank you, sir. Hooray!
Sir Topham Hatt arrived at Knapford Sheds. The other engines were very proud of Thomas.
The town of Great Waterton is to be restored in time for Sodor Day. The restoration will be a lot of work.
What's restoration?
Restoration is when you make something old look new again.
There are many jobs to be done.
All the engines were pleased. Sir Topham Hatt gave each of the engines important jobs. They whistled and tooted in excitement.
Now I will telephone Miss Jenny. We need the help of the Sodor Construction Company.
Sir Topham Hatt telephoned Miss Jenny.
Miss Jenny, Thomas has discovered the old town of Great Waterton. We need the help of your machines to rebuild it. It must be ready in time for Sodor Day.
How exciting! They will be delighted to help. I'll tell them right away, sir.
So, Miss Jenny went to see Jack and his team. "We will work harder than ever," hooted Jack excitedly. At the depot, Mr. Percival gathered his engines. He spoke loudly.
You will all be very busy. I know you will all do your very best.
Back at Tidmouth Sheds, Sir Topham Hatt was talking to Thomas.
Thomas, you are to find all the lost and hidden lines around the town. And because you discovered Great Waterton, I'm also giving you the most important job of all. You are to be in charge of all the work.
Fizzling fireboxes.
I'm bringing an engine from the mainland to work on your branch line.
Thomas didn't take any notice of this. He was too busy thinking about being in charge of all the work at Great Waterton. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt arrived at Brendam Docks to meet the new engine. Even Cranky was excited. Suddenly there was a loud sound of pistons pumping. From behind a cloud of steam, a new tank engine puffed slowly out. He was shinier and bigger and stronger than Thomas.
This is Stanley. Welcome to Sodor, Stanley.
Oh my! Whatever will Thomas say?
Thomas didn't know that Stanley had arrived. He had been busy. He had already found a lot of hidden tracks. Thomas puffed proudly along to his new engine shed. James huffed up.
Look at my new shed, James. While I'm in charge, I won't have to puff back to Tidmouth.
But James wasn't interested in Thomas's shed.
I just met the new engine. He's called Stanley. He's very friendly. Everyone likes him. He's doing your jobs very well.
Thomas was surprised. Suddenly, his new shed didn't seem so important. The next day, Thomas had to pull heavy freight cars of stone to the docks. He stopped at the washdown. He saw a shiny new tank engine.
That must be Stanley.
Stanley and Percy were playing and joking. Both engines had told the workmen to pour on more bubbles. Percy was giggling and Stanley was laughing even louder. Thomas felt left out. He tooted to his friend, but Percy was too busy having fun. He didn't notice Thomas. Thomas puffed on. He was upset. Later, Thomas stopped at a junction. Gordon was waiting. Suddenly, with a whoosh and a whistle, Stanley raced onto the main line with Annie and Clarabelle. They were having a wonderful time. They clattered straight past Thomas.
Stanley knows how to have fun.
Thomas watched Stanley disappear. He didn't think it was fun at all. That night, Thomas puffed into Tidmouth Sheds. He was very tired. Tonight, he wanted to be with his friends.
Cinders and ashes!
Stanley was in his berth. Stanley blew a high sound from his whistle. Then Gordon blew a low sound. And Emily trembled a sound no one had ever heard before. All the engines whooshed and whished with laughter.
Hello! You must be Thomas.
Hello, Thomas!
Thomas wasn't chuckling. He didn't like Stanley doing his jobs, or pulling his passenger cars, or being everyone's best friend. But laughing in his berth at Tidmouth Sheds was worst of all.
I have to get back to Great Waterton. I have work to do.
And he chuffed quickly away. Thomas wished Stanley had never come to Sodor. Molly and Neville were at the sheds when Thomas pulled in. They could see Thomas was upset.
What's the matter, Thomas?
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you sure?
Yes, now I'm going to sleep.
But Thomas couldn't sleep. All he did was gaze sadly at the moon. The next day, Thomas was extra busy. He wanted everyone to see he was better than Stanley. Thomas collected Jack.
I need you all to work harder than you've ever worked.
Don't worry, Thomas. Alfie, Ned, and Oliver are the best, and Monty and Max are dumping such heavy loads they're getting dizzy. Thomas smiled. He liked being in charge. Thomas wanted to show everyone he could do everything. Next, he was pulling some heavy freight cars. Then there was trouble. Thomas was puffing too fast round the bend. He toppled off the track. His load crashed down the bank.
Oh no!
Luckily, no one was hurt. Sir Topham Hatt arrived with Edward and Rocky. He was cross.
Thomas, you must go to the repair yard.
Thomas didn't want to go to the repair yard. He wanted to stay in charge.
Stanley will take your place in charge of the work at Great Waterton.
This was the worst news ever for Thomas. He was so upset. Rocky lowered Thomas onto Edward's flatbed. Slowly, Edward puffed away from Great Waterton. Edward had to stop at a signal. Spencer chuffed snootily towards them.
Bad luck, Thomas.
And he puffed away. In the distance, they could hear the other engines cheer.
Welcome, Stanley!
Thomas was cross.
I found Great Waterton! Huh, I'll be back! I'll be in charge again! Then everyone will see I'm more useful than Spencer and Stanley.
Don't feel bad, Thomas. You'll soon go back to work, and you and Stanley can work together to make sure Great Waterton looks as good as new.
Thomas wanted to think Edward was right, but he couldn't help but feel neglected. Edward's signal changed to go, and he puffed on. Soon, Edward arrived at the Sodor Steamworks and left Thomas to be fixed. Thomas liked the steamworks. There was hustle and bustle, sparks and spanners. It was lively and friendly, and there was Victor. Thomas liked Victor.
Thomas, tell me, my friend, what were you doing there in the middle of nowhere? Pulling 7 loaded flatbeds? Are you crazy? Next time Spencer tells you to do something silly, do me a favor, will you? Say no.
Okay, Victor.
Thomas had forgotten about the contest with Spencer. Then his boiler began bubbling with excitement over Hiro. He wanted to tell Victor, but he knew he couldn't. Other engines might hear, and then someone might tell Sir Topham Hatt.
Hello again, Thomas. Broken down, I see. You really don't know your own strength, do you?
Good morning, Spencer. Well done.
What did you say?
I said good morning and well done.
Do you have a job to do, Spencer? Or are you just going to stand here gossiping? You're taking up a lot of track.
No one speaks to me like that. What dare you?
He's all silver steam and bossy boiler, that one. Okay, my friend, you're all fixed. Please stay away from Mr. Silverstein. Sir Topham Hatt needs you on your branch line.
Thank you, Victor.
Oh, Kevin, what are you doing? How many times do I have to tell you, you don't drop things, you lower things? Slowly, slowly, gently, gently.
Yes, boss. Sorry, boss. I was trying, boss. Just a slip of my hook.
Behind Kevin, Thomas saw something very interesting. A flatbed with an old piston cylinder on it.
That would be good for Hiro. I wonder if Victor would let me have it.
He chuffed cheerily out of the repair yard. Thomas was very happy to see his friend Rosie.
Hello, Rosie. I thought Dennis was to pick up the workmen.
Hello, Thomas. Stanley's given me extra jobs because he thinks I give very smooth rides. Tomorrow, Stanley and I are going to work together on the tower.
Thomas didn't want to hear about Stanley. He was upset. Next, Thomas found Jack, Monty, and Max. They were very busy. Come on, Monty and Max. Let's make Stanley proud, Jack cried. He's asked us to fill in 3 holes, and we've only filled in 1.
Hello.
But Jack, Monty, and Max were too busy to notice him. Thomas was even more upset. He felt as if he didn't matter at all. He puffed sadly away. But Thomas forgot all about feeling sad when he chuffed into Great Waterton Station. It was starting to look as it must have done long ago.
Bubbling boilers! This is exciting!
Then Thomas saw Stanley. He was with Sir Topham Hatt.
There you are, Thomas. Could you come here, please?
Hello, Thomas.
Thomas tooted back, but very quietly.
Stanley has done a great job. Work is moving fast. So I have decided that Stanley will stay in charge and you will return to your branch line.
Thomas's funnel flattened. Stanley was to stay in charge? Thomas had lost the most important job of all, the job he wanted more than anything else. Later, Thomas puffed back to the Sodor Steamworks. He was pleased to see it was very quiet.
What's going to happen to that old cylinder, Victor?
That heap of old trash. It's just taking up space.
Shall I take it away for you?
Aren't you too busy, my friend?
No, I can take it easily.
Would you like a helping hook?
No, thank you, Kevin.
So Thomas was coupled up to the flatbed, and he chuffed cheerfully along towards the track that led to Hiro. Then he heard the loud whistle of a familiar engine behind him.
It's Spencer. I don't want him to see me. He'll wonder what I'm doing with this old cylinder.
Thomas huffed and puffed as fast as he could towards a siding. His boiler bubbled as he slowed to a stop. Tall trees hid Thomas from the main line.
Bust my buffers. That was close.
Hiro was very happy to see Thomas. Thomas's driver and fireman unloaded the old cylinder.
Tomorrow, Hiro, I'll come back and we can start work. I have to go back to Great Waterton Sheds now. The other engines will be wondering where I am.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thomas smiled and steamed quickly away.
Cinders and ashes. The Duke and Duchess of Boxford's summer house. It is very close to Great Waterton. Spencer will be here every day. If Spencer finds out about Hiro, he's sure to tell Sir Topham Hatt, and then Hiro is sure to be scrapped. I must be very, very careful.
That night, as Thomas pulled into Great Waterton Sheds, the other engines were grumbling to themselves.
Evening all. So, where's Stanley?
He's sleeping at Tidmouth Sheds. he didn't want to spend the night with any of us. Good riddance, if I'm being honest.
Why? What did he do?
What didn't he do more like?
Basically, he's been giving us either too much work or too little work.
For example, ever since he gave Rosie my jobs, I've had no work to do.
And not to mention that he's giving me some of the smaller jobs. I'm a big engine, I'm meant to take on the heavier loads.
And speaking of the heavier loads, he's given those jobs to me and Neville. I may have big wheels, but big wheels don't make a big engine.
Indeed! We're not designed for that kind of work. And whenever we're given one of those tasks, we have to double-head the train. And even then it's exhausting.
As a result of all this, the restoration has fallen behind significantly.
Really? Sir Topham Hatt said that Stanley did a good job.
That's because he doesn't know the truth. We all tried talking to him about what's really going on, but he won't listen. Honestly, I liked it better when you were in charge.
We all did. Sure, you were a bit bossy, but at least you knew our limitations and what jobs to give us.
Thomas was surprised. He didn't realize that Stanley actually wasn't as good at being in charge as Sir Topham Hatt said.
I'm sorry. I had no idea.
You wouldn't have?
Well, we've all had a rough day. Let's all hope tomorrow will be better. Who's up for some stories?
I am.
So Thomas told his friends all about his contest with Spencer. He was going to tell them about Hiro, but Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
Tomorrow, you will all have a very busy day. Your jobs will start especially early. So, Thomas, don't puff round the island pulling heavy loads or any other silly ideas. I need really useful engines, not really broken ones.
Yes, sir.
Now Thomas didn't dare tell his friends about Hiro. The Fat Controller had spoken. No broken engines. The next day, Thomas had a very busy morning, but he wasn't happy. He wanted to be with Hiro. Just then, Rosie puffed up.
You look worried, Thomas. What's the matter?
When I discovered Great Waterton, I didn't just find the town. I found a very old engine on an abandoned siding. His name is Hiro.
Bust my buffers! Where is he?
I'll show you later, I promise. He needs us to look after him. Will you help me?
Of course I will, Thomas. What can I do?
Please, will you take these flatbeds of supplies to Great Waterton for me, please?
You want me to do your work as well as your own. What a ploy. How do I know this engine is even out there?
I'll show you later, I promise. Now I must chuff away to Hiro as quickly as I can.
All right, we have a deal.
Rosie was excited. She was happy to help Thomas. Rosie puffed a long way, but the coaches and the supplies were very heavy.
Bother, I can't pull my train and Thomas's train. They're too heavy. But I really want to see this lost engine. I can park my coaches, but they must be somewhere safe until I get back. This is the perfect place to leave my coaches. No one will find them here.
Thomas huffed happily towards Hiro's hideout. He was so busy thinking about helping Hiro that he didn't see Spencer steaming up behind him.
What are you doing here, Thomas? You're a long way from your branch line.
I'm on my way to Brendam Docks.
Something strange is going on. Very strange indeed.
Thomas didn't dare chuff to Hiro until much later.
I thought you weren't coming, Thomas.
I told you, Hiro, I'm not going to let you down.
Then Thomas's driver and fireman opened their toolboxes and started work. Soon, Hiro's piston rods were in place.
I'll come back with more parts for you, Hiro.
Thank you, Thomas. Please don't get into trouble for me. I'm an old engine.
And I will make you new again. I just wish my friends hadn't forgotten me.
What do you mean?
There's this new engine called Stanley. He's bigger, stronger, and shinier than me. And well, ever since he arrived, he's become everyone's best friend and has taken my place.
Don't worry, Thomas. I'm sure your friends haven't forgotten you. Stanley is just new and exciting. If you get to know him, he's probably a really nice engine.
Thank you, Hiro. Bye, Hiro.
Thomas was puffing home as fast as his pistons could pump. He was late. He had to puff past the summer house.
Thomas, you're up to something, aren't you?
Mind your own business, Spencer.
Spencer followed, close behind. Thomas was puffing fast. Then he saw Rosie at the water tower. Rosie looked sad.
I popped a valve while pulling these heavy flatbeds.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. I didn't think it would be too heavy for you.
Well, at least you're listening. Stanley never listens to me.
Dear, oh dear. Rosie, you should let a stronger engine pull the heavy loads.
This is my fault, Rosie. You were helping me, now you've broken down.
I'm worried, Thomas. I still haven't collected the workmen. Sir Topham Hatt will be cross.
Don't worry, Rosie. Tomorrow, I'll help you. Now I'll shunt you to the Sodor Steamworks. Victor will have you fixed in no time.
All the way to the Sodor Steamworks, the two friends chatted about Hiro. The Sodor Steamworks was quiet. Victor was very surprised to see Thomas puff in with Rosie.
Flaming fireboxes! What's happened now, my friend?
I asked Rosie to pull my train for me. Her valve popped.
Why didn't you pull it yourself?
Because
Because he... Oh!
Kevin! Slowly, slowly. Gently, gently.
Sorry, boss. Just a slip of the...
Hook. I know.
Then Thomas saw the old parts. He knew Hiro needed them. He knew he would have to tell Victor about Hiro.
Victor, I need your help.
We need your help.
I'll always help you, my friend. What is it you need?
So Thomas told Victor about Hiro. Victor was amazed.
Very good. Looking after another engine is very important, especially looking after an old engine. Tell Sir Topham Hatt.
No, we can't do that yet. Hiro's old and broken. Sir Topham Hatt might have to scrap him. But if we make Hiro really useful again, he won't.
Okay, I understand. Whatever I put in this corner of the yard, you can take.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay, Rosie, your turn to be fixed.
It was evening by the time Thomas delivered the supplies. He puffed into Tidmouth sheds for some empty trucks. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting.
Thomas, I hear Rosie was pulling your special instead of doing her jobs. And now we don't have any spare coaches, so the restoration has to be put on hold.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't know where Rosie left her coaches. I will help find them tomorrow.
That's exactly what you'll do tomorrow. By my order.
Sir Topham Hatt's voice boomed round Tidmouth sheds, from top to tracks. Thomas' friends looked at him. They knew something strange was going on.
Thomas, is everything all right?
Yes, everything's fine. I can't trust my friends right now, not when they're hanging around Stanley.
Soon Thomas pulled into Great Waterton sheds. The other engine looked at him.
Why don't you tell us what's going on, Thomas? It's too easy to tell when something's bothering you.
Thomas huffed a huge puff. He needed his friend's help.
I have something very important to tell you.
As the stars sparkled above Great Waterton, Thomas told them all about Hiro. The engines had never heard such an amazing story, and they agreed to help. The next morning, Thomas was at the water tower when Gordon pulled up.
Cheer up, Thomas. We all get gruffed by Sir Topham Hatt from time to time.
It's not him I'm worried about.
Is something going on, Thomas? You can tell me. Remember our alliance.
I found an old engine when I discovered Great Waterton. I want to help him be really useful again, but he needs a lot of repairs.
We have a steamworks just for that sort of thing. Just take him there.
I can't, Gordon. Sir Topham Hatt mustn't know. Who?
Why not?
Because he might scrap my friend.
Don't be silly, Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt will never...
Hiro is old and broken. I don't know if I can trust Sir Topham Hatt right now. Please, try to understand.
I see. There is something we can do. The old repair yard supplies are still in the back of the yard next to Tidmouth.
That will be perfect. Will you help me take the supplies to Hiro's hideout? You're one of the few engines I can trust.
Certainly. You can count on me, Thomas.
Thomas worked hard at Great Waterton. He shoved and he shunted, without stopping to ease his axles. Spencer watched Thomas's every wheel turn and piston pump. Spencer didn't go to work at the Duke and Duchess summer house. He was too busy watching Thomas to see Gordon go by, pulling a flatbed of old engine parts for Hiro. Thomas saw Gordon. Gordon saw Thomas, and they smiled. Gordon raced through the countryside.
I'm the greatest. Just watch me fly by. These tracks better not give way.
Who's there?
You must be Hiro. I'm Gordon, a friend of Thomas.
Gordon, the big express engine. I remember seeing your poster a long time ago.
I've heard you made quite the name yourself, here and abroad.
Yes, a lot has changed with time.
Indeed, with some proper care, though, we can bring back the master of the railway.
Thomas had worked hard all day. He was going to the Sodor steamworks. Gordon steamed towards Thomas. Gordon was beaming from buffer to buffer. He was very happy to be helping Hiro.
Job done! Job done! Now I must hurry. The express mustn't be late.
Well done, Gordon!
Thank you, Thomas!
At the Sodor steamworks, sparks flew and cogs creaked. Rosie was almost ready to leave. Then Sir Topham Hatt arrived.
Thomas and Rosie, the coaches are still missing.
Tomorrow you must find them.
Yes, sir.
Of course, sir.
Rosie, you're fixed.
Come on, Thomas. Cheer your friend up.
I know just how to do that. Follow me, Rosie.
Thomas, this afternoon I will leave something for you.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Victor.
Thomas and Rosie puffed up at Hiro's hideout.
Hiro, this is my friend Rosie.
Hello.
Hello, Rosie. You have a very special best friend. I think that is because you are special too.
Do you have close friends?
Yes, I do. At home.
Oh, that's sad.
Don't be sad. Look at my new funnel. Gordon brought it for me. When Gordon smiles, it changes his whole face. It is most interesting.
That made Thomas and Rosie smile.
Good night, Hiro.
Good night, my friends. Until tomorrow.
On their way home, Thomas and Rosie chuffed cheerily past the summer house. Neither of them saw Spencer. Spencer saw them. He was hiding in the shadows. Once they had passed, he slid silently out of the siding.
I'm going to find out what that tricky tank engine is doing. It's time for Steely Spencer to hunt for clues.
In the morning, Thomas puffed off with Rosie to find her coaches.
Are you sure you can't remember where you left them, Rosie?
I can't.
Think very hard, Rosie.
I am thinking hard. But I can only think about Hiro.
Emily was busy doing Thomas's jobs on his branch line. Spencer watched her. Emily didn't take any notice of him.
Why is Thomas puffing round the summer house?
I don't know. Thomas is a busy engine. He chuffs all over the island.
Why are you working on Thomas's branch line?
Because, as I said, Thomas is a busy engine.
Where is he busy?
You're a big, strong engine, Spencer. Why don't you go and look?
Spencer really didn't like this. He stared hard at Emily. Spencer stared so hard he didn't see Rosie and Thomas puff by on the upper track. Nor did he see Neville huffing by with a flatbed of engine parts for Hiro. That evening, Thomas and Rosie puffed up to Hiro's hideout.
Look at me now.
Hiro's boiler was finished. He was a colourful patchwork of parts.
You look wonderful.
Hooray!
Oh, thank you. But I'm worried for you. That silver engine was sniffing around here last night. Stay away for a little while. Your friends are taking good care of me.
Today, Neville was very kind. And tomorrow, I think Dennis is coming.
Dennis isn't kind at all. He's a lazy bones.
And for the first time, Thomas and Rosie heard Hiro laugh. Loud, long, and happy. The next morning, Thomas and Rosie searched the quarry for the coaches. They couldn't find the coaches, but they found Spencer. Mavis was delighted to see Spencer.
Spencer, what an honor. Let me take you around the quarry.
Thomas and Rosie thought that was very funny. Spencer didn't. He scowled, and he didn't see Dennis rolling by with a flatbed of parts for Hiro. Mavis proudly took Spencer under the slate hopper. Later, Thomas and Rosie were taking on coal. Molly chuffed by. She had a flatbed of old parts for Hiro. Molly was very excited.
Good luck, Molly!
Then Thomas saw Spencer. Rosie gasped.
Cinders and ashes.
Spencer was being pulled by Edward and shunted by Henry. Slate dust had blocked his funnel. Spencer had to go to the Sodor Steamworks. Now, Thomas and Rosie could visit Hiro safely. Hiro looked more and more like a really useful engine.
Thomas, I must be really useful before Sir Topham Hatt sees me.
You will be, Hiro. Don't worry. I'll make sure of that.
Listen, Spencer. Looking miserable doesn't get the job done any faster. Tomorrow you will be fixed. Come on, give me a smile, just to show me you can. Kevin! No problem, Kevin. Those hooks can be slippy. You're doing a good job, Kevin. Keep going.
And Billy chuffed quietly away from Spencer and off to Hiro with his new parts.
Hiro, what do you think about when you're alone?
My home. Since I have been talking to you and your friends about it, I miss it more than ever.
Thomas understood how hard it must be for Hiro to be away from home. He wanted to cheer him up.
Tomorrow, Rosie is going to puff across the island to get the last part we need for you. Then you will be ready. You won't have to be alone anymore.
Thank you, Thomas. You understand me well.
That night, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for Thomas at Great Waterton Sheds. He was
Thomas!
cross.
The coaches are still missing.
Spencer is at the Sodor Steamworks. The building materials for the summer house are stacked up at the docks, and you're not working on your branch line. What is going on?
I'm sorry, sir. Tomorrow I will make sure everything is put right.
Thomas, if there's something going on, you need to tell me, please.
Thank you, sir. But there's nothing going on, really.
All right, then.
Don't worry, Thomas.
Tomorrow, Rosie will get the last part Hiro needs.
We'll all take it in turns to guard Hiro.
Tomorrow, it will all be all right.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Dawn broke across the island of Sodor. Spencer was back on the tracks.
Today, I will find out what tricky Thomas is up to.
Spencer was looking for clues. He looked behind bushes. He steamed down sidings and puffed closer and closer to Hiro's hiding place. Suddenly, Spencer whistled long and hard.
What's this I've found?
Neville and Dennis heard Spencer. They raced off for the chase.
Rattle my rods. I found some old coaches. These must be part of Tricky Thomas's tricks.
Suddenly, Neville and Dennis raced out. Spencer had puffed too close to Hiro. Neville blew his whistle, and Dennis honked his horn. Together, they chased the mighty Spencer down the branch line and away from Hiro. Then Thomas chuffed towards Spencer. Spencer was blocked. He couldn't puff forwards, and he couldn't huff backward. And he had Rosie's coaches.
Spencer, why did you take Rosie's coaches?
You have caused confusion and delay.
But I didn't take the...
I'm not interested in your excuses, Spencer.
Find Rosie and give her back her coaches at once.
I won't let Thomas get away with this.
That afternoon, Stanley asked Thomas to shunt some freight cars.
You're the best shunter ever, Thomas. I'll be back for the trucks very soon.
Thomas was very good at shunting freight cars. And he also really liked shunting freight cars. But he didn't really like Stanley telling him what to do. Thomas chuffed unhappily to the freight cars. He wanted things back the way they were, before Stanley had arrived on the island. Thomas shunted lots of freight cars. Stanley had to take them up the steep hill out of the town to the wharf. Suddenly, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel.
If I shunt an extra long line of trucks, Stanley will never be able to pull them. Then everyone will see he's not so strong after all, and I will be in charge again.
Unbeknownst to Thomas, Spencer was nearby. He had heard everything and came up with an idea himself.
I know how to get that tricky tank engine into trouble.
Soon, the cars were ready. They were very, very heavy. Thomas left to get a drink of water. While he was gone, Spencer shunted an extra truck onto the train. This truck had a rusty coupling.
So when Stanley begins to slip, the train won't just hold him back.
As soon as Spencer left, Thomas rolled back in. Stanley returned shortly.
My, that's a very long train. Not for a strong engine like you.
But Thomas knew it was too long and too heavy. The only thing he didn't know was about the rusty coupling on the first truck. Stanley started up the hill. It was very steep. Stanley was doing his best. Stanley was using all his huff and all his puff. The trucks clanked, creaked.
Hold back! Hold back!
Stanley's wheels spun and slid. Suddenly, the coupling snapped.
Faster! Faster!
The engines gasped as Stanley's train came racing down the hill.
Faster! Faster!
It smashed into the tower. As the tower crashed to the ground, bricks and dust exploded everywhere. All the hard work was wasted. The engines gasped in horror. And Thomas felt worst of all. He knew it was all his fault. Sir Topham Hatt and Miss Jenny came to see what had happened.
This is a disaster! Thomas! Why did you shunt so many trucks for Stanley?
Thomas felt terrible. He knew why he had done it, but he couldn't tell Sir Topham Hatt and the other engines. He felt too ashamed. So he said nothing. Sir Topham Hatt was very cross. The other engines started to whisper.
Thomas doesn't like Stanley. That's why he shunted too many trucks for him.
I don't like Stanley either, but I wouldn't do that.
Why would Thomas do such a thing?
Thomas would never do that.
Thomas felt very bad. He puffed slowly away. Thomas found an old track. He wanted to be alone.
The other engines don't want me around. They wish I wasn't here at all.
Stanley puffed towards Thomas. He saw that Thomas looked sad and alone.
Thomas feels bad.
He felt very sorry for him. Later, Sir Topham Hatt called the engines together.
Now, Great Waterton may not be ready for Sodor Day. Miss Jenny's crew will load the rubble into the trucks tonight, but this means extra work for all of you. Tomorrow, you will start to shunt the trucks away to the sidings.
Thomas had let down Sir Topham Hatt. He had let down the other engines, and he had let himself down. The other engines started to chuff away. No one spoke to Thomas. He was no longer in charge, and he felt he was no longer wanted. That night, all the other engines were asleep in their sheds. But not Thomas. Jack and Alfie had already loaded their cars of rubble.
If I shunt all the trucks away to the sidings, the tracks will be clear in the morning. Then, everyone will like me again.
Thomas wanted to do something to get his old job back. So Thomas started to shunt the freight cars away.
Phew. All right, that's the last of them. Time for me to... Oh, great, there's one more. And it's rolled in front of an old mine shaft. I'll soon fix that.
Then there was trouble. Thomas biffed the car too hard. It rolled forward and disappeared into the mine.
Cinders and ashes! Where did that freight car go?
Thomas rolled forward and peered inside. It was very dark.
I must finish the job. I'll soon find that car.
And Thomas puffed into the mine. It was very dark. Thomas was happy he had a bright lamp. He saw the freight car rolling away. Then it disappeared around a bend.
Bust my buffers! I better go after it.
The slope was very steep. Thomas whizzed down it and clattered around the bend. Up Thomas whooshed and down he whizzed.
Whee! Wahoo!
It was very scary, but it was very exciting. Thomas had almost caught up to the freight car.
You won't get away from me!
But Thomas didn't see the junction ahead. The freight car whizzed down the right track and Thomas sped down the left. Thomas had lost the runaway car. But his roller coaster ride was so much fun. Thomas soon forgot about the freight car. Then there was trouble. The tunnel ahead was blocked.
Oh no! Oh, help!
He applied his brakes, but it was too late. Thomas crashed straight through the blocked tunnel. With a mighty splash, Thomas landed in a pool of water.
Fizzling fireboxes! This tunnel is flooded! It doesn't feel fun anymore. It feels scary. I wish I was back at Great Waterton.
Thomas drifted slowly forward. There was nothing he could do.
Cinders and ashes!
He tooted as loudly as he could.
Help!
But there was no one there to hear his whistle.
No one will find me now! No one will want to find me!
The next morning, Stanley, Billy Gordon, Rosie Murdoch, Neville Molly, and Dennis had arrived for work.
Where's Thomas?
The engines looked. Thomas wasn't there. They all thought hard. No one knew where Thomas was. Molly asked the engines at Tidmouth Sheds.
Have any of you seen Thomas?
No, we haven't.
James was worried. He asked the little engines at the junction.
Have any of you seen Thomas?
None of the little engines had seen Thomas either. Percy called Jack and his team together.
We can't find Thomas! Do you know where he is?
Jack and his team thought hard, but none of them had seen Thomas. Thomas drifted along the tunnel. He realized he was moving faster. Sir Topham Hatt was called.
Sir, Thomas has disappeared.
No one knows where he is.
And I miss him.
This is very strange.
Everyone agreed, and they had to find Thomas at once.
This is a state of emergency. Everyone must look for Thomas.
Deep inside the mine, Thomas went up and down, round and about. And the water roared around him. Sir Topham Hatt drove and drove to every lookout point. High in the hills, the narrow-gauge engines puffed and peered. But no one could find Thomas. Sir Topham Hatt stood by the tumbled tower. Everyone was tired. Everyone had tried their hardest, but there was no sign of Thomas.
Sir, we have to find Thomas. He found Great Waterton. It's his town. We can't have the opening without him.
You're quite right, Percy. We must find Thomas.
Stanley also knew how important Thomas was. He chuffed away thoughtfully. Stanley arrived at the sidings. A train of freight cars was waiting for him. But Stanley wasn't thinking about freight cars. He was thinking about Thomas. Stanley thought back to the day when Thomas saw him pulling Annie and Clarabelle. And he remembered the evening at Tidmouth Sheds, and Thomas was upset because Stanley was in his berth. Then Stanley remembered Thomas's face after the accident.
Thomas isn't a bad engine. He's a sad engine. I wonder if he has run away because he thinks no one likes him anymore. Maybe Thomas is hiding up in the hidden hills. I'll look for him there. I must tell him we all miss him.
And Stanley whooshed away to the hills. In the dark tunnel, Thomas was very scared. He was washed and waved forward. His fire had gone out and his boiler was cold. Stanley was high up in the hills.
Where are you, Thomas? We miss you.
But only his echo came back.
We miss you.
The river was rushing, and Thomas whooshed with it off into the darkness. Suddenly, he crashed through a thick wall of bushes. He flew across a ravine and hit the ground with a bump. Thomas slid down a hill Trees and rocks were everywhere. At last, Thomas slithered to a stop at the bottom of the hill. He was stuck.
Look, I landed next to an old track, but how am I going to get onto it?
Thomas could do nothing but wait and hope. Stanley had looked everywhere. He couldn't find Thomas. Soon he would have to go back to work at Great Waterton. Thomas was thinking about Great Waterton. He thought about the tower, and the moment Stanley's freight car smashed into it, and the tower tumbled down.
I wish I hadn't made Stanley pull all those trucks. I didn't like him doing my job, and now look where I am. I'm a very silly engine.
Thomas wished he was back with his friends. Stanley had to get back to Great Waterton.
I'll blow my whistle one last time.
And he whistled loud and long.
Huh? It's Stanley!
With his very last puff and his very last huff, Thomas blew his whistle as loud as he could. Stanley heard Thomas. Quickly, he reversed back to the branch line.
Thomas, is that you?
Thomas had run out of puff. He couldn't whistle again. He could only wait. Then Thomas saw Stanley chuffing around the bend.
Stanley, am I glad to see you?
Thomas, where have you been? Did you run away?
No, I was trying to be a really useful engine.
Then Thomas told Stanley all about his adventure in the mine. Stanley was amazed.
Stanley, I'm sorry that I was horrid to you. I was wrong, and I was silly to be cross that you were in charge. I want to be your friend.
Thomas, we will be friends, and I'll have you back on that track in no time.
Soon, Stanley was hooked up to Thomas. Then Stanley huffed and puffed. Thomas was very heavy. There was a lot of water in his firebox. Stanley didn't give up.
I can do it. Huh.
And with a mighty heave, Stanley pulled his friend back onto the track.
Hooray!
Then there was a very loud crack. The valve in Stanley's boiler had burst. Stanley was a very strong engine, but pulling Thomas had been too much. Now he couldn't move. Stanley felt very sad.
Don't worry. You helped me, and now I'll help you. I will shunt you home.
Stanley smiled. Thomas was his new friend. There was nothing Thomas wouldn't do for Stanley. The fireman put Stanley's dry coal into Thomas's firebox. In no time at all, Thomas's boiler was bubbling, and his steam was wheeshing.
Here we go, Stanley!
Stanley smiled back. And puff by puff, Thomas shunted Stanley along the track.
You know Stanley. Hiro was right. You are a nice engine.
Who's Hiro?
Then Thomas told Stanley all about Hiro.
I think I saw Spencer looking in the area.
Oh dear!
At last, Thomas and Stanley puffed into Great Waterton. Thomas was tired, but he had never felt happier. Murdoch, Rocky, Neville and Rosie were busy working. They tooted and whistled when they saw Thomas and Stanley, and soon the sound of engines' whistles were echoing around Great Waterton. The news spread throughout Sodor. "Thomas is found!" the small engines cried. The narrow gauge controller beamed with pride. Terence told Harvey, and Harvey told Trevor, "Thomas is home! He's back forever!" Bill told Ben, and Ben told Molly. They cheered and they whistled, they felt so jolly. All the Diesels met in the sidings. They couldn't believe such wonderful tidings. Percy told Gordon, Toby and James. "My best friend is found," Percy proudly exclaimed. Arthur told Emily along the coast track, "Have you heard the news? Thomas is back." Miss Jenny told Jack, and Jack told his team. Hooray and hurrah, they shouted and screamed. Harold touched down and found Bertie the bus. Bertie hooted and tooted and made such a fuss. Bertie found Lady Hat, who whooped and waved. Lady Hat told her husband, "Sodor is saved." "Thomas is found," cranked Cranky aloud. The cheers and the cheering were a marvellous sound. Sir Topham Hatt proclaimed very grandly, "Stanley saved Thomas, and Thomas saved Stanley." That afternoon, Hiro was waiting for Thomas. He was excited. His firebox flared, and his steam swirled.
Ah, hello, Thomas. Murdoch told me how you went missing a few days ago.
I did, but as you can see, I'm back and ready to help.
And who might this be?
I'm Stanley, and I've come to bring your water injector. It's the last part you need to make enough steam.
We must hurry. Spencer will be headed back this way soon.
Soon, they finished welding the parts into place.
I wonder if Sir Topham Hatt will have seen any pictures of me.
Of course he will. He will be very proud to have you as part of his railway.
I'm so happy. I have waited a long time.
Suddenly, there was the sound of a loud whistle. It was a whistle they all feared.
It's Spencer.
He's found us.
Help Thomas. Spencer will make sure I'm sent to the smelter's yard.
No, he won't, Hiro. You're nearly fixed. You can puff away from Spencer. Follow us.
So with a pounding puff and a heaving puff, Hiro was on the tracks, following Thomas and Stanley to steam away from Spencer.
Well done, Hiro!
Thank you, Thomas! Then there was trouble. Spencer snaked onto the tracks behind Thomas.
Found you, Thomas.
Spencer!
You won't get away from me this time.
Hiro chuffed as fast as he could. He wanted to whoosh away from Spencer. Then Spencer saw Hiro and gasped.
Who are you?
Hiro!
Come on! That engine can't even puff properly.
Hiro's boiler had started to make strange noises. Hiro was worried. With his parts not welded properly, Hiro could only sputter and splutter. Now, Hiro's boiler started to judder and jitter.
Don't worry, Hiro! You can do it!
Thomas, help me!
Come on, Hiro, don't stop.
Is this what you've been doing, Thomas? Making a heap of scrap for the smelter's yard? Because that's the only thing that this engine's good for. Sir Topham Hatt will make sure of that.
Thomas felt terrible. He had worked so hard, but he had let Hiro down.
How can I stop Hiro going to the smelter's yard now?
I'll race you to Maithwaite, slowpoke, Spencer! I'll win!
Oh, no, you won't, Gordon. I'll win.
Don't worry, Hiro. We'll hide you down here.
Everything will be all right.
But poor Hiro looked sadder than ever. Gordon raced toward Kelsthorpe ahead of Spencer. Spencer was out of puff. Rosie's coaches rattled and prattled behind him.
I won. I told you I would.
Before Spencer could ease his axles, the door of the express swung open.
Fumbling fenders. Spencer, you have let us down. We left you in charge of our summer house, and it's not ready for our holiday. Our friend Sir Topham Hatt says you spend all day watching Thomas.
And taking coaches that aren't yours. I told you to take them back to Rosie, and you haven't.
Spencer's pride was in pieces.
They have a very old engine, a heap of scrap, in fact. I was chasing it because, in fact, Sir Topham, you should please, Spencer, stop. Chasing engines that are a heap of scrap? We'll have to send you back to the mainland, it's quite clear. You're not fit to work.
Please, may I help? I could work with Spencer at the summer house. I'm sure together we could have it ready in time.
What about your job at Great Waterton Stanley?
Don't worry, sir. Thomas will be doing that. He's much better at being in charge than I am anyway.
Thank you, Stanley.
That is most kind of you. Please keep an eye on Spencer. He's clearly not feeling well.
Spencer wheezed steam. It was all too terrible.
I'm sorry, Gordon. I hope you're not in too much pain.
Don't worry, Thomas. I'm fine.
What do I do now? Fixing Hiro didn't work.
Perhaps it's time to consider asking Sir Topham Hatt Thomas. We haven't many options left.
You did everything you could, Thomas. But I know now, I will be sent to the smelter's yard.
No. No, you won't. I won't let that happen to you. I promise. Don't give up.
I've spent many years not giving up Thomas. It gets tiring after so long. I don't think I can keep going. I can't help you, or myself.
Thomas steamed sadly away to Great Waterton. All the engines were worried about Hiro and cross with Spencer.
I'm sorry I left my coaches so close to Hiro. I didn't know he was there. It looked like a very good hiding place.
Don't worry, Rosie. We all did our best.
What shall we do now?
First, we should tell the other engines.
So Thomas and the Great Waterton engines set off for Tidmouth sheds.
What are you all doing here?
We came here to tell you something very important.
And so Thomas told the engines at Tidmouth about Hiro.
I don't understand, Thomas. Why didn't you tell us sooner? We could have helped you. I know. I was afraid. I wanted Hiro to trust me. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to prove that Spencer was wrong about me, so I tried to do everything by myself.
Thomas, it isn't weak to rely on others.
That's right. We're your friends, aren't we?
We're here for you, just like you're here for us.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, we still need to figure out what to do next.
I'm going to tell Sir Topham Hatt.
Why?
We tried to fix Hiro by ourselves. It didn't work. We need his help. I'll finish the construction of Great Waterton. Then Sir Topham Hatt will know that I am a really useful engine, and he will want to help me. While I'm busy, will you all go and visit Hiro?
Of course we will, Thomas.
All the engines whistled. They were a team for Hiro. For the next few days, Stanley and Spencer worked on the summer house busily. Stanley didn't let Spencer out of his sight. Meanwhile, Thomas did Stanley's jobs at Great Waterton. He and the engines there worked hard to mend the tower. With Thomas in charge again, the work was moving fast.
Oh, it feels good to pull long, heavy trains again.
It feels good to not pull long, heavy trains again.
The other engines all looked after Hiro. He was never alone for long. He laughed and told stories about his homeland to Emily, Molly, and Percy. He listened to Edward's wise words and cared that Henry used to have special coal. He admired James' shiny red coat and thought Toby was very special, the only steam tram he had ever met. The Duke and Duchess came to visit the summer house. It was almost complete. They were very pleased. Spencer beamed. He told them all about it, while Stanley puffed quietly away to Great Waterton. Stanley agreed to help Rosie mend the tower, while Thomas set off to see Hiro. Hiro was happy to see Thomas.
Hello, Thomas, my best friend.
Hello, Hiro.
Thomas could see Hiro was sad.
Hiro, I won't let you be scrapped. Believe me, tonight I will fix everything.
Hello, Thomas. Tell Stanley we thank him for his help. Without him, Spencer would never have finished on time.
I have to go to Knapford now.
Why?
To see Sir Topham Hatt.
Spencer snarled.
You're going to tell Sir Topham Hatt about that silly scrap engine. I'll get there first to make sure your plan doesn't work. That engine will be sent to the smelter's yard, where he belongs.
So Spencer pumped his pistons and clickety-clacked after Thomas.
I'll puff hardest. I'll chuff quickest. I know I can.
Thomas and Spencer had the race of their lives. Thomas steamed over bridges and wheeshed through tunnels. He slid through junctions and raced round bends. Spencer thundered and roared, but he couldn't get in front of Thomas. Spencer thundered on, then screeched to a stop. Spencer reversed back to the junction. He raced after Thomas along the narrow track. The rickety old track went over marshland. Thomas knew that it was the fastest way to Knapford. Thomas huffed and Spencer puffed. Spencer was closer and closer. Then there was trouble. The track was broken and Spencer was too heavy. With a creak and a crack, the track snapped beneath him. Thomas stopped. He knew what had happened, but he could do nothing.
I'm sorry, Spencer. I didn't know the track was broken. I'll go on and get help. I'll be back.
Sir Topham Hatt was having dinner with the Duke and Duchess. The station master telephoned him and asked Sir Topham Hatt to come to Knapford right away. Thomas's traction rods were trembling. His wheels wobbled. He knew he now had to tell Sir Topham Hatt everything about Hiro. Sir Topham Hatt listened.
Hiro is an old and important engine. I didn't want him scrapped. That's why we tried to fix him ourselves.
Did you say Hiro?
Yes, sir.
You mean the master of the railway?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's terribly famous.
Famous? He's the master of the railway. Why did you think I would scrap the master of the railway, Thomas? Why didn't you ask me?
Because I was silly, sir, and worried. So I tried to fix him alone.
You're not alone anymore. We must help Hiro at once. Send him to the Sodor Steamworks. Victor will have his funnel bright and pistons pumping in no time.
Thank you, sir, thank you. What about Spencer? He needs help too.
I told Spencer not to leave the summer house, and he did. So Spencer must wait his turn for help after Hiro.
Hiro, I've seen Sir Topham Hatt. He knows you're the master of the railway. You're going to be sent to the Sodor Steamworks, not the smelter's yard.
Hooray for Thomas!
Hooray for Hiro!
The next day, Thomas and Stanley took Hiro to the Sodor Steamworks. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting.
Welcome, Hiro. It's a pleasure to meet you after so long.
Thank you, sir. I thank you very much. And I thank you for Thomas.
Thomas did his best. Victor will make sure that you will soon be master of the railway once more.
Of course, sir. Anything for you. I will do my very, very best. We all will.
Sorry, boss!
I'm sorry, sir. Very slippy hook.
So I see.
Don't worry, Hiro. Victor is the best.
A few days later, all the engines went to see Hiro. He puffed forward slowly.
How do you feel, Hiro?
Very happy, Thomas. I never thought this day would come.
Job done, Victor. Welcome back, master of the railway.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Thomas, go and get that Spencer out of the mud.
Here I am, Spencer. I've come to help you.
You can't help me, Thomas. You're not strong enough.
You're right, Spencer. But I have just the engine who can help.
Who are you?
I am Hiro.
Are you the scrap engine?
I was the scrap engine.
Blistering boilers.
Spencer, it's time to get you out of the mud.
Hello, Spencer. What do you know?
Hiro shunted and shifted Rocky into the right place. Very slowly and carefully, Rocky lifted Spencer back onto the track, And then, with a mighty heave and haul, Hiro pulled Rocky and Spencer towards the steamworks. When Spencer was fixed, he joined the great Waterton engines. Together, the engines worked on the tower and the summer house. They huffed and puffed their hardest.
Thomas, I'm sorry I thought you were a tricky engine. And Hiro, I'm sorry I called you a heap of scrap. You are both fine engines and fine friends.
Just then, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. The tower was finished. It looked magnificent.
Well done to you all! Great Waterton is now ready for Sodor Day.
Please, sir, may Stanley bring the mayor to the opening?
That was your special, Thomas. Are you sure?
Yes, sir. Surer than sure.
Thomas smiled. Now he was happy Stanley had come to Sodor. He had so many wonderful friends.
How could I ever have wanted to be more important than any of them?
That night, Thomas and Hiro were resting. Thomas saw that Hiro was sad.
What's the matter, Hiro?
You have been very kind, Thomas. The best friend I could ever have. But I want to go home.
I understand, Hiro. I can help you. Wait here.
And before Hiro could puff master of the railway, Thomas had chuffed away.
Sir, I need your help. I know you will understand. Hiro wants to go home. He hasn't been home for a very long time, and he misses his friends and his island.
I understand, Thomas. You did well to ask me. Of course I will help you. Tell Hiro not to worry.
Sodor Day arrived. Stanley chuffed proudly in with the mayor. Thomas was pleased for his friend. The mayor, Sir Topham Hatt, and Lady Hatt stood by the new tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, engines and road vehicles, I am very proud to say that Great Waterton is no longer lost. Welcome to the town of Great Waterton.
Then everyone looked up. They could hear the whir of a jet plane. It was Jeremy. He flew high in the sky and over the town of Great Waterton. All the engines whistled and whished. Jack and his team cheered, and everyone clapped. That afternoon, all the engines were at the wharf. They were very excited, but also rather sad.
Here he comes, Thomas! Right, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
All the engines whistled. Then there was one long and low whistle. It was Hiro. Hiro chuffed slowly up the track and stopped by Thomas, Percy, and Stanley.
It's time for you to go home, Hiro.
It is, Thomas. I will never ever forget what you did for me. I will never forget you.
Perhaps I can visit you. Or perhaps you could come back and visit us one day.
Maybe, Percy.
Sodor will always be your home too, Hiro.
I know Stanley.
Thank you.
Soon, Colin the Crane loaded Hiro onto a ship. Hiro whistled a final goodbye as the ship sailed to sea. Thomas smiled. He had wanted to be the leader of the track. But we're all leaders of the track, puffed Thomas proudly. He couldn't let him duck in it.
Go, go, Thomas! 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 Yeah, go, Thomas! You're the leader! Go, go, number one! Yeah, yeah, come on! Okay! Go, Thomas! Let's go! Something great is gonna happen today. Oh, my, hey, hey, hey. Use your ears, use your eyes. Thomas is in for a big surprise. Down the line, beyond the trees, hidden away where nobody sees, lives an engine, Hiro by name, and Thomas wants to help him steam again. Neville, Molly, Dennis, Rosie too, Stanley, Percy coming through. Thomas and friends help Hiro once more. They're the really star crew. Thomas, he's our number one, working harder, shining in the morning sun. Thomas number one, working hard and having fun. Go, go, Thomas, you're the leader. Go, go, Thomas, Thomas, you're the leader. Little by little, day by day, oh my, hey, hey. Every friend is lending a hand, helping Hiro look proud and grand. Edward, Emily, James, and Toby too. Henry, Gordon rolling through. Thomas and friends making Hiro brand new. They're the really star crew. Thomas, he's our number one. Look out, Thomas, shining in the morning sun. Thomas number one, working hard and having fun. Go, go, Thomas, you're the leader. Go, go, Thomas. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the useful crew, that's true. All with different jobs to do, helping out the whole day through. Now Stanley's joined this friendly pack. Look who's coming down the track. Come on, Thomas, he's our number one. Go, go, Thomas, shining in the morning sun. Yeah, number one, working hard and having fun. Go, go, Thomas, you're the leader. Yeah, Thomas, yeah, yeah. Thomas, he's our number one. Go, go, Thomas, shining in the morning sun. Yeah, number one, working hard and having fun. Go, go, Thomas, you're the leader. Yeah, Thomas, it's Thomas. Thomas, Thomas, the leader. Go, go, Thomas, Thomas number one.
The celebration and day ended. Thomas was returning home. He was very happy about the restoration of Great Waterton and his new friend Stanley. But little did Thomas knew the steam engine was watching him from behind. The engine had came to Sodor before, but he wasn't invited that day, and he wasn't friendly either. The big and fast engine looked angrily at Thomas as he left the scene without knowing the bad engine looking at him.
That stupid engine. He's nothing more than an embarrassment for as logging engines. He's done nothing but ruin our fun and our image. He's done nothing but disrespect us and embarrass us in front of our controllers. But this ends now. we'll leave him alone for now. But once we've figured out our plan, we'll come back and be stronger than ever. Then we can take that tricky tank engine, treat him like a stupid engine, and use his boiler on one of our machines.
Yes, that's right. And with that, the steam engine left for his home.